Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Brian Foote here, Convexity Hunter. Remember to like and subscribe and press the button, and you can buy either an electronic Kindle copy of my book or the physical copy of the book that guides you through what I'm about to talk about. The Berkshire Hathaway Annual Meeting, I'll continue the series right now on my takeaways from last weekend's Berkshire Hathaway Annual Meeting. And the two most important questions that Warren Buffett discusses that one should have when evaluating a business. Early Warren Buffett was a precocious guy. We know that. Someone who would go and visit companies. And from my notes, I wrote that every CEO would see him. If they give him 10 minutes of time, they might not see him again. So he was very precocious, and he said, look, go into these meetings with an hourglass and say, when you visit a company, that you only want 10 minutes of their time. Most, if not all of the CEOs, would imagine it's the 1950s. Let's just step back, 1950s, and in walks this guy in his mid-late 20s, very smart, but could you have imagined as a CEO or senior management at a company visited by Buffett that you would be sitting with the greatest capital allocator and investor of all time? I can only imagine what it was like to get the knock on the door and then to get the question. So here we go. I'm going to give you question number one, the most important question, according to the man himself, that he would ask a CEO or senior management of a company. If you could own the stock of one competitor, which competitor's stock would it be and why? What a great question, right? You get so much, and he said it following the two questions he'd ask. He said that people love to talk about their competition, right? So prepare yourself if you ever run into senior management. And by the way, when you do your screening, when you go out there and you find smaller companies, there are management teams willing to talk with you. He did say that with the rise of professional investor relations teams, you're not going to get the kind of access to larger companies that he once had. But still, talking with people, doing your, as they say, scuttlebutt about companies, it's wise to ask them if they can own their own stock, and if they do own their own stock, what's the stock of a competitor that they would own and why? Stay tuned. I'm going to give you the second question, but I would like you, all of you with me, to click on the book. For $2.99, you can have an electronic copy of the book that I published last year, 2024, that covers a lot of these ideas that I've taken largely from following Warren Buffett and my 25-year career. So let's jump right to it. The second question that Buffett said, you'll have 10 minutes, so you'll have covered what they'd buy among their competitor stocks. And then the second one, which of their competitors' companies would they like to short? Okay, so you get their best long and their best short. This is actually a good segue into a question you should ask knowledgeable friends. And again, this kind of question gets people thinking about competitive landscape, the moat. I had a very colorful friend who in the investment business who would ask it a little bit different way. Which competitor would you shoot? I don't encourage that, but you can short their stock, and don't go committing violence here. But which competitor would you love to see go out of business, head off to Tahiti? Anyway, what competitor you would short? The two best questions out of the annual meeting. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for joining.